totally caught me practicing. Where were we? Oh, we're on the third pairing for Wine Thieves. I'll put this down and we'll practice later on my own time. What's happening? And welcome to course 3 with the Elise Zinfandel from Dry Creek, paired with Lala's infamous chili. And let me tell you, this pairing is the bomb. So let me tell you a little bit about this wine and Elise in particular. So Elise started in 1983, just making a single vineyard Zinfandel called the Morasoli Vineyard Zinfandel. That's a famous old vine Zinfandel that Elise has been sourcing all along. Pardon me. And in 1997, they opened their winery and got some very high scores for their Morasoli Vineyard Zinfandel and also the Tedeschi Vineyard Zinfandel. So this is their Dry Creek Zin, all from the Tedeschi Vineyard, which was planted between 1913 and 1919. So we're looking at very old vines. Why does that even matter? Well, because what happens when you have old vines, they produce less fruit. I guarantee you this is less than 2 tons an acre, probably somewhere between 1 and 1.5 tons an acre. And they put all of the energy, the vines put all the energy into that small amount of grape clusters per vine. And my guess is that there are maybe a bottle or two per vine that is made and goes into making this amazing little wine. Now, we at Wine Thieves found this as a steal for you all, and I thought it was so good and the chili was so good that it would be a match made in heaven, and by George, it is. So we talked about a couple of different whites, including the rosé, and how to taste through those wines using the sommelier certification tasting exam. I thought it'd be fun to kind of continue along those lines and check out the reds. There is an attachment for the red tasting grid, and I'd like you to check it out. Go ahead and smell and taste this wine. Fill out your scorecard, and we will hit pause, and we will come back and discuss this. So hit pause now. Go ahead and fill out your sheet, and come back with me when you're ready. All right, we're back. Delicious, right? Delicious. Okay, so let's look at the fruit aspect of this wine. So with reds, obviously there's going to be a different flavor profile. With the red fruits, you're looking at red fruits like possibilities like pomegranate and raspberry and strawberry and cranberry. Black fruits like black plum and blackberry. I would group blueberry in that as well as cassis. I don't know if you've ever had creme de cassis before, or black currant. You probably have had currants before, or dried fruit, which condenses that flavor even further. So let's see what I get, and let's compare some notes here. It is wonderfully complex. And for me, this is brambly fruit, almost like a boysenberry and bramble, like the smell of the blackberry vine in July when it's hot out, and you get that earthy smell along with the berry. as well as some current underlying flavors on the nose. So in addition to that, let's think about the earthy aspect, the floral, spice, herb, or other aspects of this wine. I would say this is subtly floral, but more for me, I get earth tones like licorice and herb on it. Almost like a thyme or rosemary. And then the next tier to think about is minerals, um, mushrooms, that sort of thing. Earth, the sotobosco that we've talked about before, anything that grows in the forest floor, the dried, rotting leaf smell you get in the fall. Not a lot of that, but I'll tell you that the next tier with evidence of oak, we didn't pick up any on the first two wines, but here you have definitely a lot of oak flavor and smells. And we have talked about vanilla and um, um, cinnamon and cardamom, nutmeg, clove. And for me, the vanilla from the oak is really prominent. So let's go ahead and try it. And how did you personally address the structure? I would call this a dry wine. It definitely has lots of fruit. That's Zinfandel for you. It's going to be like that. But it's still dry. It still finishes dry. This is not a wine that has residual sugar necessarily. Acids, I would say medium minus. It's not a real vibrant wine. The first two wines had a lot of acidity. This one kind of sits back. It's a 2014 vintage, so we're looking at 5.5 years of age now on this wine. So the acid is definitely sitting back on the palate. Tannins, for me, I would say medium. It's not medium plus. It's not like robust kind of chewy tannins. There's a structure there, but it's on the tannins are on the softer side. And for me, the finish is a medium plus. I think the oak really kind of goes from start to finish. And I'm still tasting that oak there. It's not medium plus to long finish like the other two wines. And a real key to that, like we talked about, is the acidity and the structure. If this had a lot of tannins too, I bet you that the finish would last a lot longer. Okay, so we analyzed the wine. You all will be graded later. And I just want to talk briefly about the pairing. So the chili, as you know, is a combination of really robust flavors with different meats. There's some beef and there's some Italian sausage and there are peppers. So it's got some zest to it. It's extremely flavorful. And what really competes with that sort of thing are tannins. So you really don't want to have a Cabernet with chili. It won't taste very good. It'll taste really hot on the palate. You want something, I think, with some pretty robust fruit. And so Zinfandel, I think, is kind of perfect for this. Not a Preston Dry Creek Zinfandel 2017 vintage where it's really tart and dry. It needs to have either more jamminess to it or, like this, some age to it. That Preston, I bet you, would be awesome with chili in 3 or 4 years. And what I'm looking for when I'm trying any food really with wine is how can I still taste the wine after I have the chili, for instance? And definitely you can taste the wine. And I feel like the competition between the spiciness of the dish with the wine is at a minimum, and the fruit really actually comes through and enhances the flavors of the chili. I hope that you have enjoyed this experience. I hope that you have had a chance to make the recipes or are planning to. And as always, I'm open to feedback on how we can make this experience better. While we're all sheltered in place, we got to be creative on how we're going to interact with one another. And we thought that this would be a good way to stay connected and bring a little more enjoyment to our lives as we're navigating through this stressful time. Cheers, and hope to see you very soon. Be well.